stand by me only if I'm right. I come out of triple darkness just to see the light. If I say it once, I guarantee I say it twice. If they know me, I ain't going out without a fight. In my dreams, I'm a killer, but for God, man. Try to play it cool, but it's getting hard, man. Rolling with the real and death to all the frauds, man. Not too many of me, yeah, it's kinda hard, man. In my room, sitting in my room. Know they waiting on me and I'm coming soon. Never been a sellout, never been a coon. Y'all be on the camera acting like I'ma show them how I drew it.
Don't let missed opportunities pass, and call that person that you're thinking about and say, hey, I'm thinking about you. You were on my heart. You know what I mean? I called a dude last week just to say, hey, man, how you doing? You've been on my heart. I hadn't talked to him in 2-3 years. He live in Florida now. But I picked up the phone and said, hey, man, you were on my heart. I just wanted to know how you were doing, how your son was doing, you know, because we had many conversations about his son. And, man, that dude, I could just tell in that conversation or just hearing my voice, and I don't want nothing. You know, I'm sure when he hung up, he probably was thinking, I can't believe that guy actually took the time to call me.
Yeah, we got this group family chat, right? And my son, man, and every time he travels, you know, he said, hey, I'm about to leave. So his job allows him to travel a lot, right? And he said, hey, I'm about to get on the plane. You know, and typically I'd be like, all right, safe travels, love you. Boom, he land, he tell me. Then one time he did it. And now he's the oldest of 3. His 2 brothers didn't say anything, right? And he was like, yo, this time I'm not gonna let you not say nothing. I said, we do this all the time, and y'all don't say I love you, don't say nothing back. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna allow it this time, right? I was thrilled, right? I said, okay, he took a position of leadership. And then they say, hey, love you, bro, right? And so we do say that to one another, right, in person. But it's not always, you know, on the chat line like that. So I was happy that he took this leadership role. So I guess my question to you is, when that happened, I felt so happy to, you know, to see him step up like that, and his brothers respond that way, you know. And I thought about the Stevie Wonder song, These 3 Words. Y'all remember that song? And it was powerful. So I guess, so my question to you fellas is, let's talk about affection amongst men. The affection you show to your children, to your boys. How often do you tell them that you love them? How often do you tell them? How do you tell them? How do you show it? And what's appropriate? How do you show love to Kaden? I mean, do you tell them you love them? Do you know, how do you communicate?
Oh, definitely. Since he was a wee one, very young. It started off early just so it wouldn't be anything different or new as he matured and grew up. Even that, it's funny because even with that as Papa, you
Papa.
know,
That's what he was calling you?
He was calling me Papa, yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably for my, you know, my affinity to the Godfather saga and stuff like that. And that's how they refer to the, you know, the Italians did, you know, Papa. So I had him call me Papa. And even, you know, to now he'll say Papa, you know, Pop. I don't even think he says Pops. He'll just say Papa. However, and he has no problem. And my oldest boys too, they even though it was practiced later for them, they just fell right into it as if it's, you know, it had been done from the same age level as the youngest.
Can you be somebody that's a toxic, I don't know what the word, because you can't say masculinist.
Toxic masculinist. Maybe you can.
No, I don't think
so. You told me all the time, intelligent people make up words.
That's true. If you know what they mean, what I say is, linguists say the purpose of language is to communicate. So if somebody understood what you meant, that objective has been met, no matter how you pronounce it.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna say it then, But anyway,
toxic masculinist.
People that are we have this toxic masculinity issue. So if you're a brother that's displaying that, can you also be somebody that teaches the love you talked about at the same time?
Say what now?
So if I'm toxic in terms of the toxic masculinity, the tough love side of black fatherhood that we've talked about in the previous episode that's toxic.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be tough and all of this stuff. Can you be that way, like the tough love person, and teach this love that you just displayed, that you talked about to Katie? To teach them to be loving in that way.
You threw me off when you said toxic and tough love, because I think they.
No, I know what he's saying. I know what he's saying.
But we call it tough love, but I think it's a lot of times it's toxic.
Can you still?
Because tough love is like get your punk ass up.
Yeah, not acknowledging the emotions
that
come with the pain.
It hurts.
No, I don't think so.
I think we dampen their sensibilities a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm asking that because you said about this love thing. I'm saying, can you teach it in an environment where that toxic thing is also being taught?
Can they live in the same space?
Yeah, that's what it made me think about. Yes, correct. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
And how is it? And the bigger question is, do we do it enough? Is it important? Have you heard it growing up? How it affects us in our community?
The love part?
Yeah. The appropriate love and affection that we need.
I guess my mind defaulted to what's wrong. I didn't explore it.
Yeah.
Before I got to what's wrong, because I see what's missing is when I think about us as a people, the reason why it's not there because we got this idea of what a man is that's warped. So we don't think about teaching this tender side to develop it in our young men. I went too far with that. But yeah, for me, I didn't hear it from the male side. I think I said that to y'all till I got an FOI class. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And multiple brothers.
You never heard a man tell you he loved you?
Not until I was 19. That I recall. And
it wasn't a father or nothing like that.
It was a brother in the mosque.
Okay.
Yeah. And now, and I'm not saying me and my brothers haven't said that over the course, but I don't recall. I'm saying like, I'm sure what happened with me and my brother. Love you, bro, or whatever, But
every
I'm
time
talking
you
about
do this, that's you love me. That's just how y'all express it.
Harder. But with my sons, man, that was important. Yeah. To be comfortable. Just
why?
Teach them.
Why was that important?
Because first thing you got to be comfortable with is saying the word. If you aren't in a space where you are comfortable in regular practice of saying and using that word, the first thing you got to get used to is saying it and being comfortable saying it.
I agree, but why was it important to you?
Why was it important to me?
For you to do that with your sons.
The number one, it was important because I love them. I love them. And so if I love them, then it's incumbent upon me to extend my love to them and to teach them the beauty and value of love. And so if you do that before they get corrupted by the world and say that's gay, that's this, that, then they can look at everybody else and be like, something wrong with y'all. You know what I'm saying? But if not, then the kids start navigating their own idea of how a man's supposed to, you know what I'm saying? So.
Chill.
I was over here looking for some stuff, but nah. So definitely growing up, love was definitely one of those words that was heavily involved, and I would like to say we wasn't wealthy in the money sense, but we was definitely wealthy in the love sense, and I think that stemmed from my grandmother was a praying grandmother. And
is a praying grandmother.
Absolutely. Yeah. Is a praying grandmother.
Shout out to Lindsay.
And in the biblical side of it, God loved the world. He gave his only begotten son. And so when you look at God is love, and he love you even if you don't love him, even if you don't even know him. And when you need a father, in the spiritual sense, when you need a father,
you look at God is the Father, even if you have one that's absent in your life. And when you in the biblical world and you talk about love, it's just so special because you don't even have to know him, but he loves you. And most of the time when someone loves you, that they already have that type of relationship already built in. And so I definitely say I love you to my son, my wife all the time, always expressing, when we leaving the house, even if we're around the house, hey, I appreciate you, I love you, it's just a normal thing. So.
Can I say, I think it's because it's a nuance. A question I want to talk about showing love. Because I think that we probably will agree that it was important to teach and to try to impact them and embracing it, right? The issue we might be talking about, like in your scenario, is we knew he loved his brothers.
Right.
It's showing love.
Right. How you display love.
He was challenging them to display in a love in an appropriate setting after some love was extended to a loved one in a situation where, it's a good idea. Somebody's going away to express that, right? And so that's the thing about it is like, because in moments like that, I can say that I have some issues with my son sometimes, right?
You have issues saying that?
No. With how they may display love, or let me say it like this, how they may, in my opinion, miss opportunities to display love. Mm-hmm. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so, and it's not that they not doing it or won't do it. It's like, that was an opportunity. When Andre said, hey man, love y'all, I'm about to leave, that was an opportunity for you to show your brother some love.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, your brother leaving. We were taught, if y'all get up and I'm going back to VA right now, y'all gonna get up. Y'all might walk me to the car. You love me. Or you could just sit here. All right, nigga.
Because this is
right, so are you you love me, but are you gonna get up? That's what I'm with you.
I'm on the plane. I don't know what's gonna happen.
I'm with you.
I'm with you. So then was it really about showing love, displaying love, missed opportunities? Or was it just ultimately about the realization that we don't know how much time we have and to not take time for granted?
That too.
Therefore, we should show love as frequently as we can.
We should show love. I heard my man Inky Johnson talk about, he said, he was talking to somebody and said, yeah, man, you know what? We'll get together next week. And he was like, next week? Who promised you that?
Yeah, inshallah.
Who promised you that?
Yeah.
Who I want to know who's promising time around here.
Right.
Nobody. Ain't none of us promised time.
Right.
So the way I think about it is it was an amazing moment, not just about the I love you, but it was an amazing moment about Dre's recognition of how valuable time is with his brothers, with his family, and bringing the attention to the group family chat to say, hey, let's not take these moments for granted. Let's not take time for granted. Y'all don't know if I'm coming back.
That's a fact.
I heard my man, once again, Inky Johnson say, one of the things that we take most for granted every day is the fact that when we leave home, we think we're going to return.
Yeah.
So many people leave home and don't return home that night.
And because, and you know the evidence, the evidence for us when the crisis happens.
Yeah.
When the tragedy happens and everything stops, we want to hold that person. We wish we got up then.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We wish we had sent that other text then. We think about these missed opportunities.
Withholding love.
That's what we do, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
We regret the missed opportunity. I wish they had known. I wish they had,
I heard Shaq say, I wish I had taken that phone call from my sister.
Yeah.
And talked to my sister.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had done these things. And we all have those moments if we take a moment to reflect back and say, I wish I had done something. And that's what we truly want this episode to be about is the
value
don't
and
let missed opportunities pass, and call that person that you're thinking about and say, hey, I'm thinking about you. You were on my heart. You know what I mean? I called a dude last week just to say, hey, man, how you doing? You've been on my heart. I hadn't talked to him in 2-3 years. He live in Florida now. But I picked up the phone and said, hey, man, you were on my heart. I just wanted to know how you were doing, how your son was doing, you know, because we had many conversations about his son. And, man, that dude, I could just tell in that conversation or just hearing my voice, and I don't want nothing. You know, I'm sure when he hung up, he probably was thinking, I can't believe that guy actually took the time to call me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what life is ultimately all about is the time we have and the relationships we have. That's what we doing here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It ain't about chasing money and chasing the bag and all that other stuff, man. It's about valuing friendships and valuing relationships that we have. That's what we doing here.
Right.
You know, and so for me, that's what we talking about here. And so how do we teach our young people to value the relationships that they have with their brother, their mother, their cousins, their grandma, and not take for granted grandma gonna be here tomorrow. You know, we right now, we in the process of planning a 95th birthday for my grandma. We're in the process of doing that.
Granny again.
Shout out to
Happy
Granny one more
birthday,
time.
Granny.
Right. Who says she gonna be here for her birthday?
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
So
for real.
you're not
Right,
gonna wait
yeah,
until to tell her you love her until the
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's a daily
mean?
thing.
But the realization that we're not promised that she gonna be here in June. I'm planning it. I ain't promised I'm gonna be here in June.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so that's what this is all about. And
You know-
anybody that's watching this show right now, we want them to take the moment to think about the 2, 3, 4, 5 people that mean the most to you. And please take a moment to write that letter, make that phone call, send that text, go knock on the door and visit. Don't take this stuff for granted, man. It can be life-changing. And one single word, you know, in my many years of coaching, the one thing
How
I've
long?
learned.
How many years?
2 decades.
Over
Yeah.
20-some years.
Yeah,
Oh,
over
okay.
20-something years. You know, the one thing I realized is that, man, and it's a scary thought, is that a single sentence can change someone's life.
Mm-hmm.
A single sentence can change someone's life. Man, let me tell y'all this story. And I don't think I've ever told y'all this. I was 18, 19 years old, and I was having a tough time, man. I was depressed, and I was going through it. And I broke up with my girlfriend at the time, and I was like, man, I'm walking. I'm like, I'm out of here, man. You know, I'm just sick of this. I ain't doing nothing. I ain't in school. The police harassing me. Life is jacked up. And I'm just fed up, man. I'm broken. And I'm walking. It's about 12 midnight. And I'm like, that's it. I'm just going to kill myself. That's it. I'm going to kill myself. And so I'm walking up University. And y'all know, you're in Charlottesville. We know where the Beta Bridge is. The Beta Bridge is where all the spray paint is on the bridge. And I'm sitting there on the bridge. And I'm going to jump off the bridge. I'm sitting on the bridge. And I'm going to jump. And I'm thinking, I look, like, damn, I don't think that's far enough. That's far enough. That's far
That got to be the worst.
Logic got in the way.
Like, oh yeah, I'm like, I don't think that's far enough. And so I'm sitting on the bridge, dog, and I'm like, okay, I gotta wait for a train to come so that if I jump, the train will hit me and I know I'll be dead.
Dang.
And so I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for the train, and I'm just sitting there, man. I'm like, when's this train coming? When is this train coming? And finally, man, some dude, they leaving a frat house, and the dude reach on my shoulder and he said, hey, man, are you all right? Are you all right? And I looked up I ain't really see his face. I was just like, yeah, man, I'm all right. But when the dude walked off, here's what I said to myself. True or not, this is what I said. At least somebody cares. And I got up and I walked on by my business.
Damn.
Just like that. That's what happened.
Man, brother.
I don't know who that was.
Thank you for the courage to tell that story, brother.
Angel.
That's real.
Yeah.
You know, man, when we talk about why we don't recognize these moments, man, and we got so many stories like that, man, I want to stop because, first of all, people that's going through stuff like that, you do not have to go through that alone like he almost did, but for God sending an angel in the form of a drunk college student, probably.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There are hotlines. There are family members. Reach out, man. Reach out, and pray. And some of these things we say are cliche, but you got to say them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because people lean on resources when they fumbling. And they might fumble on the one you said. But, when we talk about our babies, man, and how we acculturate them to this world, and now we got this world where, and I'm glad when I see more and more sisters breastfeeding these babies, right? And we know it's a lot of reasons why people can and can't and all of that stuff. But I know what they taught sisters in the NOI is that you don't want to bond a human life to a plastic thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
To the pacifier, to the bottle. He said it's more than just them getting milk out of the mama. You bonding a life to a life, right? And so if I get bonded to material things throughout my development, then I'm desensitized to the power of my connection to human beings. And so even my life, as life sends the messages to me about my worth and my value is nothing. And I've already attached value to materials. And then everybody that looks like me is nothing. Time doesn't matter until God stops it for everybody. And he try to wake us up and bring us back to the memory and try to help us rediscover the value of that life he gave us.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't our fault. It's this world. Because that's what they tell us. Go get the house, the things, and send you the image, and that's your happiness. And our little girls want to be models, so they want BBLs, and this is what's going on because they bonded to things. So moments don't matter until the crisis comes, until those things that will fade away. So we're not bonded, and so that's why your life did not matter. And it wasn't just like you said. You said somebody cared. I need somebody to acknowledge, just see me.
Random acts.
You ain't even gotta help me. All you did was say, "Are you all right?" and was enough, right? That moment. So that moment mattered. That human being. That's oh man.
I got something.
Forget the love, the compassion.
Yeah, that compassion.
That he
love.
saw.
Yeah.
He saw a white, probably affluent college student saw a black teenager.
Yeah.
And he stopped what he was doing to show concern.
Absolutely.
And save a life. You know what I'm saying? Andre, Gabriel, I said, stop what you're doing to show concern. Show that you're aware that it's fleeting. You know what I'm saying? And man, that's so that's deep, man. I'm moved by your story, man. Because that's and I'm more moved though by your ability. I gotta get this out. Your ability to what you did. You said in that clip that was going viral last week when he said it. You have got to believe that you got the power within yourself to change. And now I know why you said it with the conviction that you did.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
And when he said. And I said this before, but what happened was that idle mind at the time was a devil's workshop, and somebody interrupt that rhythm that was going on,
Mm-hmm.
and when they interrupt that rhythm, it
It was
popped in.
enough.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
almost like when
Because it
you
wasn't
have,
like ain't nobody care.
right,
Yeah.
A whole lot of
Right.
people cared.
right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
And so when
Yeah.
when you thinking and you got bad thoughts, that's why you need to open up your mouth and speak against it. That bad
Verbally
thought,
out loud.
verbally, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
When he stopped that rhythm that was going on with my brother at the time.
But guess what?
Yeah.
You know what he did, and that's powerful because if you
He
check on the people
recognized
you
it.
love,
Yes.
we see that's what we talking
Right,
about.
right.
Check
Check
on the
on
people you love all the time,
Yeah.
That's right.
because somebody can catch it.
Hey, bro,
Right.
listen, doing this, when we talking, I'm listening to everybody talk. I'm talking, I'm trying to listen. I'm watching you. And I had no clue what you was going to say. But something was welling up inside you.
I
Yeah,
can
was
hear
like-
his voice.
Yeah, I could see it before he said anything. I'm like, what he about to say? He a kissing Johnson. You know what I mean? We the ones ain't nobody say they love each other in the house. You know what I mean? You know, I'm like, what he about to say? But I knew he was about to say something profound, but I had no clue.
Right.
You
right,
know,
right.
And that's why I had to tell that, because we come from the family and everybody kissing and loving and hugging and everybody. That's
Yeah.
why. And there's nobody in my family that would have thought I was going through that at that time.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Mm.
And so that's why, so even when we doing it and we kissing and hugging and saying I love you, we got to take the extra moment to really, really, really engage. No. No, how are you really doing?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Are you, what's going on with you? Tell me, come sit down. Let me holler at you.
Man, this is
No,
a lot
that's-
to deal
that's-
with in this world. Man.
That's what we got to do. Go ahead, Jimbo.
No, do you think if at the time with what you were going through, if someone did check, would you have shared that? You know what I'm saying? And let them know.
That's funny, because I remember when I left my girlfriend's house that night and I was walking, I left mad and I ain't had no socks on and it was cold. And I was just thinking, damn, my ankle's cold. And I'm sitting on that bridge, man. And you know, everybody, if you from Charlottesville, University of Virginia, everybody know the Beta Bridge because it's covered in paint and they paint different messages on it all the time. So everybody's familiar with this bridge. And I'm just sitting there and I'm cold because it's wintertime, you know, and I you know, I don't know. You know what I mean? That pattern needed to be interrupted.
Disrupted. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, no, I was saying we was talking on the way down here, right, about the old school saying the witch riding your back, and I was like, "Yo, when you see that happen, wake me up, interrupt me," and that's what you were saying, right?
Yeah.
That was a different type
Yeah.
of spirit, but that is so real, man, and I appreciate you always saying and speak it out loud, and I've been trying to do that. I'm not consistent with it because sometimes it sounds crazy when you're by yourself, you know, but you got to do it.
Peace and blessings to all of our businesses who are interested in advertising. We have great affordable rates. And if you'd like to advertise on our B2M Crew podcast, please reach out to us at b2mcrew5@gmail.com.
Move forward with this though. So I'm going back to my son called me, man, was a little stressed out. I'm talking about, you know, not sure what he want to do, his purpose and this and that, the other, right? And so
What is purpose?
yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
I got you.
Yeah. And so one of the things, I'm just gonna read it right here, and it was I sent him, and it's basically, you just touched base on it saying, well, it's about purpose, right? He said, what's my purpose in life? I asked the void. He said, what if I told you that if you fulfilled it when you took an extra hour to talk to that kid about his life, said the voice, or when you paid for that young couple in the restaurant, or when you saved that dog in traffic, or when you tied your father's shoes for him. Your problem is that you equate your purpose with goal-based achievement. The universe is not interested in your achievements, just your heart. When you choose to act out of kindness, compassion, and love, you are already aligned with your true purpose. There's no need to look any further, you know? And so that was a random act of kindness, right? Those little things you do when you go to the convenience store. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
You know, those little things mean a lot.
Man, don't take those things
You know
for
what?
granted.
In the Holy Quran, it says, all of our duty is to free a slave. Free a slave.
Yeah.
Now, what does that
Tells
mean?
a slave, yeah.
It can mean you can free people from a lot, bro.
Yeah.
You
What
can
type of
free them.
bondages
You
they
can
have?
free them. You can free them from a crisis. You can free them from regret. You can free them from regret. You can grant them forgiveness.
Yeah.
You can. It's so much you can do. You can free somebody from a debt. It's so much you can do to free an individual's mind up, so that they can be open and worship the Creator. You know what I'm saying? And to me, all of this stuff we talking, these kindness, all of that stuff is the act of freeing a slave to me. Because to humanity, all of us who are enslaved by these isms and all of this stuff we go through and struggling with, we can free one another on a daily basis, man. But just give us a good word. Man, you all right?
How much that cost you?
A little bit of time.
A moment.
You know, it's funny y'all say that because I had a situation that, you know, I always think about people all the time, and this particular day when I was thinking about Grandfather June, right, my grandfather, and he was in the hospital. Yep, June. He was in the hospital, and I was thinking about, I said, I ought to call June. And I was like, nah, I'll call him later. I ought to call June. Nah, I'll call him later. And then I think you called me, and he was like, he gone. And I was like, damn. And that's one of those things that always stick with me when I think about somebody, and I say I should have called in, right? But I didn't, right? And so now when I think about somebody, I call them immediately. And so that was an expensive learning lesson for me. And now, you know, at times when I think about somebody, like Joaquin said, somebody on my spirit or whatever, I call them. And I talked to this one sister, this in the morning meetup with us. I talked to her maybe last year, and I called her, and she was like, so when I called her, she was like, hey, Talik, how you doing? And I was like, how you doing? And she didn't sound like herself. And I was like, you all right? She was like, yeah. I was like, nah, you ain't all right. I was like, what's going on with you? And then she just broke down, started crying, said she was going through some stuff. And she was just, stuff with her son. And, you know, and so she was like, I'm so glad that, you know, did you call me? You know, make sure you tell your wife that she really got a special husband, because, you know, you was the guitar. You know what I'm saying? Because I was in a need of somebody that I value our conversation and stuff like that, and I was able to help her, and she watched our podcasts and stuff, and so she, you know, she knew what we was doing, and she was having some things that was going on with her son and stuff.
Man, we just need to get checked on, man.
And it was a good moment.
And you know the thing I like, they say, man, and I'm a bear witness to this, the check on your strong friends piece.
Yeah, for real.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because
they straight.
Because those of us that try not to complain in life, man, you know what I'm saying? You know, and those of us that tell you I'm good, I'm straight all the time.
Yeah.
Check on them, man. That's why it's important for us to fight through one another's stubbornness about that. And be ready for somebody to just say, forget you, F it, whatever. No, okay. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that's what we do. That's what we've been. We train, we soldiers.
Right.
But
And
check on your strong friends, because I've been through stuff, man, where you know, and we get so private.
Right.
Because we men of confidence and esteem, and you don't supposed to spill out, right? But you gotta find a way to release and have that collegial conversation I was referring to earlier, because we don't have all the answers. And
Absolutely.
I thank my brothers for that, because And then when you get to a certain level of wisdom in life, and ain't but certain people you can talk to anyway. Not that you can't learn from others, but sometimes I need to be instructed. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I need somebody that I know.
Absolutely.
I think that one point you made that don't really want to look over is not having the answers.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times that's when that ego kick in.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm quick to tell somebody in a heartbeat, hey, look, man, I ain't got all the answers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I'll figure it out, or I ask somebody who do. And that when you do that, it ain't no pressure on me no more.
That's a fact. You just told the truth, right?
It ain't no pressure.
Yeah. No,
And the reason I asked you earlier too, that you know, if someone of family, whomever had approached you, would you have opened up, is because probably within about the past month, now I wasn't talking to y'all. We hadn't talked or spoken, but if I had talked, I wouldn't. And here's, I guess, a weird thing about it too, is I guess you don't come forward like, so to speak. You know what I mean? You wait for it to be a response. You know what I mean? So actually, it happened to be the guy I work with that, and I was just feeling just straight depressed to some extent.
Okay.
And, just not satisfied with the way things were going, overall. And he happened to ask, hey, Jay, how you doing? How you doing, man? Because he's a pretty cheerful fellow and everything, too. And I was just straight, I was like, yeah, it's okay, man. But actually, bro, I just don't feel, what I'm saying? I'm a little bit depressed. You know what I mean? I was just straight up, oh, man. I kind of probably throw him off, off guard a little bit. But it's like, hey, man, well, if ever there's anything I can do, da-da-da-da. And I guess it helped to some extent.
Yeah.
But I was open enough to, to be like, yeah, nah, it ain't, I'm not cool.
Man, yo.
Bro, that's like,
it ain't,
it's,
I don't know.
I'm not.
That's real. That's real too, because look at what we got. And we still have moments like that.
Yeah. Right.
It's most people on this earth don't have what we got.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Most people on this earth don't have this.
Right.
And we still go through it. And to answer your question, I probably wouldn't have said something was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I am that person that people come to. You know what I mean? All the time. I'm that person that everybody come to. And what I know now that I didn't know then is that whenever we going through like what you was going through at the time, it's a conflict between where we are and where we want to be.
Right.
And that's why we in that space.
Yeah.
Because there's a gap between where we are and where we want to be. If you got a dude that don't want to do nothing and he on the couch smoking Black and Miles and drinking beers and smoking weed and chilling, and he happy doing that,
eating honey buns,
he right.
Oh,
my 600-pound life, he good.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? That person is good. There's no conflict between where he want to be and where he is. You only have this gap between where you are and where you want to be that causes that depression. Because in your spirit, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. In your spirit, you're not where you want to be in your life, whether it be personal relationships, professional, or whatever it may be. And one of the things that can help people is when you are in that space to stop measuring forward, measure in reverse.
Look back.
When you measure forward, you see there's a gap.
Yeah.
But if you measure in reverse, you
came.
see how far you've come.
That's
and
good.
you begin to feel better about where you are.
That's good.
And so that's why we gotta make sure
Came a
it's
long
all
way.
about how we think and our mindset, and so that's why this is important. Go ahead.
Man, when you talk about you talking about the journey,
Yeah.
right? The journey of difficulty after ease and ease after difficulty until we die. So that's what I said to brother earlier today when I was talking. We have got to teach. I said that in the clip. We have got to teach our children universal law and along with their faith. We keep allowing this world to separate science from God. We keep allowing them to do it. Because if we don't allow them to do it, then we can teach our children, it's okay that you suffer. That's what you're here for. You know what I'm saying? But I got a quote, man, Brother Farrakhan, man. It's a speech he had called The First Law That I Draw On.
Oh,
That's a good reminder.
classic.
For me.
Oh my God.
He was talking about David. And he was speaking for David. He said, my law, he said, the Creator talking, as David said, is a lamp unto my feet. But sometimes I must allow you to walk in darkness so that you may hunger for the light. And I'll bring you the law, my faithful servant. And if you will meditate on the law night and day and understand I didn't give you the law to burden you. I gave you law to compensate for the imperfection in your nature so that through the law you can relate perfectly to me. And through the law, you can relate perfectly to one another. And through the law, when you fall out with one another, you can find joy, peace, mercy, and forgiveness for one another. Right? So our problem is falling away from the law. So when you fall away from it, then you lose the power of locking step. We keep locking in step with the universe. So you're not benefiting from what the universe gives when you act in accord with what it was created to do, right? So we miss out. We feel pressured. We feel devalued. We feel undervalued because we've lost track of the fact that God is shaking us up to keep reminding you that it's some laws you ignoring. Yeah. And it's going to keep happening. If it happened to the point where nobody comes to your aid, it'll drive you crazy because you're not supposed to be that far out of accord with the law. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
And this is interdenominational.
Right. Exactly.
Bring your book. Let's talk.
Right.
We got to teach people about we have allowed the Western world to separate God from science. And they manipulate science to rule while we ignore it and rely on our own damn selves to figure our way out of their mess. And so we don't know how to love and care for one another.
Yes, sir.
Because we become one another enemies because we trying to do what they do. I know I took it somewhere else, but
where you take it?
I
Why
don't
you
know.
take it there, man?
I don't know, bro, because
that's what the problem is.
It is.
That's the problem.
It is. We got all these. We say we believe this. I'm a Christian. I'm a Muslim. I'm a Jew. And all of them tell you to treat your fellow man like you want to be treated. But none of the faiths do that to one another. Right. So as a family and parents, go to church, go to service. But in your home, teach your children that their religion and faith is what they do, not what they say they believe in practice. Yeah. Because then they got the resilience, man, and they know God is love. I got to extend love. I got to extend mercy. I got to extend forgiveness. I got to love myself. I'm going to suffer like Jesus did. I don't know what we hearing, bro. I don't get it.
I know what we hearing.
What we hearing?
We chasing the bag, baby.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. We got 5 services on Sunday. They 45 minutes long. We got to move them in and out. That sounds like let me
man,
stop.
we ain't talking about that, man. This is not what we came to talk
about. Hey, look, we got problems. Let me say this. We got problems at the masjid, at the shul, at the synagogue, at the Buddhist temple. All of it.
Yeah, that is true.
All of us wrong.
And that's what, and that's why our men ain't showing up in that space.
Right.
That's a whole nother conversation.
It is.
And when you're not showing up, we isolating ourselves, right? You need your community.
Why are men not showing up in that space?
You just said it. Well, what I was gonna say though about isolating ourselves, we cannot isolate ourselves because you need our community, right? Mm-hmm. And like it's with this thing right here, especially with our younger generation, It could be a gang of people in here and everybody right here. Nobody's connected. You think you're connected, right? But you're not. You're more disconnected than ever.
But that's the whole thing with the TikTok ban, right?
Yeah.
Who controls the narrative?
Yeah.
TikTok is now the leading news source for people under 30 years old. Government said we don't want TikTok controlling the narrative. Who's gonna control it once they give it up? Do we control it? Do you control the narrative with your children?
I hope so, but not
We
all
not-
of it.
no, we
not
don't.
all of it. Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
did whatever part you did put in is
Right.
in.
Only thing we can hope to do is influence whatever narrative they get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we do it with like the universal law that you're talking
Telling
about.
the truth.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully whatever they get when they go outside of us, they have that as their guidepost
Absolutely.
to bring them back to a proper reference when something is going on, or when they receiving certain information,
Man, I tell you.
or when they try, or when someone is trying to manipulate and take advantage of them. They have that teaching that we have given them to bring them back, that they can reference from, and they can start to identify the flim-flammery and the larceny that somebody is bringing at them.
Can you go off the grid for 30 days? Just say your wife was accepted. I'm not talking about I'm gonna miss my wife. None. We're gonna miss our spouse and all that. Can you go off the grid 30 days, no phone, no TV? You got everything else you need. You got food, you got clothing, you in a home that's warm, you can go outside, you can potentially fish for 30 days and be totally disconnected from other human beings.
No.
Can you do that?
Disconnected from human beings.
No, don't talk to nobody for 30 days.
Yeah, that's tough. That's why solitary confinement
It's yes
is
or
worst
no.
punishment.
Yes or no?
If I was fishing and stuff, I might do that.
One key.
Man, y'all know me. I'm Mr. Technology around here. I need all my resources.
Yeah.
Could I do that?
If I
could
if
try.
I was a spiritual, if I'm in
I could
space,
try. However,
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said 2 weeks. Oh, you've done that 2 weeks.
Listen to how the
I-
thought
here's-
of even 2 weeks.
Right.
Listen to how the thought of 2 days. Listen.
Yeah.
So what I'm talking about, we keep talking about time, right? We have allowed the world to make us think that everything needs to happen right now. I need all my stuff right now. I need everything. I need to be plugged in all the time.
Yeah.
To the point where we can't even stop and we don't even know who we are. And the only way you're going to find out is if you spend some time with yourself.
Good God.
Yeah, that's real.
That's good. I now, if it was a person around, I don't care male or female. If it was a person around, I'd be good. I could do it.
So
But
you
this
need
what I'm
one
saying.
person.
One
We
person.
solved it. You know why we solved?
Why?
Because the first man was by himself.
And they gave him a woman.
After a
Because it wasn't
while,
working out.
after the same care, after a while.
They gave him a woman
He
because it
needed
wasn't
a
working.
friend too. I just said one
listen,
person.
And
I
I'm
don't
not
need
saying
nothing
it's
else.
unrealistic to talk about 30 days of solitude. But I thought about that because they talk about, man, this person meditated for 30 days and 30 nights or whatever, right? Throughout history, scripture, whatever. But even for 1 week, have we thought about, the reason why I'm asking y'all, because I thought about this. At 52 years old, right? I've never been somewhere by myself as an adult for just a week, just by myself. I ain't got no problem.
Right.
Just to see let's just see who I am. What would I do? What would I think about?
That's weird.
What clarity would I come back
to
with?
think about?
It'll be deep.
Being disconnected from those that I love. What clarity do I come back with?
You come back with so much wisdom. I'm talking about like,
And
I'm talking because when I was in college, that's when I was in college and I left and I didn't know nobody in Georgia.
mm-hmm.
And when I came here, I had a roommate and I met him right on the spot. And when everybody left, I cried like a baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I got to know who Talik really was.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm telling you, and that was just a short dash of me in my own room. I ain't say nothing to him. I was just in there and I was just thinking, what you like to do? What make you happy?
That
What's your
college might be
favorite
the
college?
closest
What's
thing you
the-
get
What's
to the shift.
And I'm asking all these, and I'm having this conversation with myself, and what make and I'm what you do for having fun and what life like,
Yeah.
and I'm telling you, that's how I can share with young people when they're in them spaces, because
What happened? Say it. What happened? You found out who you were, didn't you?
That's right. That's right.
That's my point. So
And it's gonna be really deep if you go days and days and days.
look if you did that with the level of days you've been on this earth at this point, though.
Yeah.
The reflection time, right? And so my point is, I ain't even saying people got to do that. James said it sound crazy, right?
It's weird just to imagine.
But just think about it like this.
Intentionally-
Think about it like this. Prophet Muhammad, he went to the cave to meditate.
Right.
He gets the revelation of the Holy Quran when he went to the cave.
Mm.
Moses, he goes to the. All of the
Absolutely.
scriptural references is somebody retreating to a mountain, to a cave, to some, right?
To
And
discover.
so my
Reset.
point is, but the point is, I don't know if it's as much about the mountain or the cave as it was they were in isolation,
Right.
right? And they received. And so my question is, how do we? And y'all say how? Artists, y'all want to know how I get back to the topic? How do we teach our children the importance of finding a way to study yourself and create moments of isolation to recharge consistently so that you can love, so that you don't feel overwhelmed, so that you can do what that monk said on that reel I shared today.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Figure out some strategies on how to live this life.
And you ain't gotta be phony.
Yeah.
Everybody perfect phoniness so much.
Yeah.
And everybody in this copycat phase and trying all this.
And you can look at them, and the child can look at them and smile. And
Yeah.
say, wow. I hope
They got a lot of
I
growing.
hope
They need this
I
experience
hope
I
they
just
find
said.
happiness.
Yeah. That's what
But
happened.
isn't that the key to how do we find those moments? Because you know what we doing? We going to happy hour
That's right.
to recharge.
That's right.
We going to bed a $300 massage because it feel better and get our nails done and feel good, and we gonna eat. I'm just saying, I'm me too.
We deserve that.
We
We're entitled to it.
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah,
I
but
work hard all week.
For me
Work hard,
personally-
play hard.
Yeah.
For me personally, I have more recently just adopted a method of meditation.
Okay.
Kudos
to Joaquin, shout out.
And
Yeah.
and really, man, I incorporated it into my schedule, and I start off with reading every morning, but I start off with the meditation for 15 minutes, and then reading for 30 to 45 minutes every morning. And so these are some things that people can add to their lives. Tangible strategies that you can add to your life. And if you go on YouTube or whatever, they got, meditation music that you can listen to and just all kinds of stuff. And so more importantly, don't keep moving aimlessly through life. Start to move with purpose. That's what we got to do. We got to make sure we're moving with purpose. And when we get up, how does your morning start? How do you start? Did you hit the snooze button for the third time? Or did you get up?
Mm-hmm.
If you committed to getting up, get up. I don't even use an alarm clock. I haven't used one for years. Only time I set an alarm clock is if I got to get up at 2:45 to catch a plane or something.
What's wrong with them not getting up? I mean, why they can't snooze?
Because they haven't made a decision about their day. And you need to make a decision about who you gonna be today.
And it start you messing up with the snooze.
That's the first decision you got to make. And you done screwed up the first decision.
Because you putting it off.
You done screwed up the first decision. Get up. Get up. It's time to get up.
What they got to do with decisions though, Joaquin?
We already see you iffy. You iffy.
So
already.
a person, if they hit snooze, they're indecisive.
You're not committed to doing what has to be done.
Which is get up.
What if they say, well, how do you get that out of sleep? Like just hitting the snooze button.
It's the same reason, I think it was a gentleman, I can't think of his name right now,
I
And
was
he
trying
wrote
to
a
get him to
book
turn up on me, John.
talking about making your bed every day.
Uh-huh.
You know, John, you familiar with that?
Nick Olstein.
You just made that up.
I had to let the viewers know.
You just made that up.
That's Joe.
Yeah.
It sells well, bro.
Hey,
Nick
J-Boo bought
Olstein.
it.
I know what yeah, Nick. Hey, let's get back to love, man. And I think the things that stood out, man, is like I'm thinking, let people know how you feel about them.
Yeah, consistent.
Let them know consistently through acts of kindness. It could be a stranger. You know what I mean? It could be one word. It can be open up the door.
What if it ain't kind words? Do you still let them know how you feel?
Keep them to yourself.
Yeah,
And we've talked about that before. The truth without compassion is cruelty.
And also,
so don't be giving nobody no truth if you ain't giving with compassion.
Exactly. And Chill, what you said too, just right, because I did that last week, and I was like, let me hit this person up. And I'm like, nah, it's too late. You know, it's too early. And then I did it again. I just like, you know what? Boom, let me call. Hey, I ain't mean to call you late. And so I did what you just said. When that spirit hit you, reach out to them.
Yeah.
Just do it. And you don't mean to be disrespectful or rude to call somebody in an opportune time. But hey, if you didn't answer, just thinking about you, hope all is well. And interrupt that negative thought, that negative spirit, right? Mm-hmm. Whether you speak out loud, count down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, whatever it is.
Yes.
Interrupt it so you can get back to God, so you can get back to the positivity, so you can get back to hope, so you can get back to your community that you do know love and support you. You know what I mean?
That you can
so
feed
we can
off
recharge.
Mm-hmm.
So we can recharge and make sure when we are fully charged, that we charge others.
We saved somebody today, man.
Check on your strong friends, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They need it. Just check on them. The thing is, they don't need as much.
That's true.
Just check on them, though.
You good, bro?
Hey,
I'm good, black man.
Hey,
Thank God.
love y'all, fellas.
Love y'all
Love you,
too,
bro.
man.
You good?
Yeah, yeah.
You good?
Love y'all.
It's the B2M crew. We chopping it up, man, about love and moments and taking advantage of moments in life and fortifying ourselves with strategies and studying ourselves so that we can move through this life with some purpose, so we can be resilient and dealing with all of these stresses we have. Just 5 brothers knowing each other for over 40 years, 13 children among us, between us with 12 sons. We in Fayetteville, Georgia at Wynn Productions with the wonderful iHeart's finest Tyreek Wynn. It's the B2M crew. Waukee, what you gonna take us out with, bro?
Yeah, man. In the words of the great Frederick Douglass, it is easier to raise strong children than to repair broken men. Peace.
Yep.
And I won't stop until I'm winning. I'ma show them how true and independent get it. Whole game changed by the time I'm finished with it. We about to get this business handled in a minute. And I won't stop until I'm winning. They don't want me in the office 'cause